I wanted to discuss just briefly symmetric bowling balls with you. I don't want you to become a scientist. I'm certainly not one. I rely on all the information the manufacturers post or we post at bowlingball.com about the bowling balls to try to use as a guideline. So when you're selecting a bowling ball, there are several different options that you have. But when we talk specifically about the symmetric bowling balls, we're talking, number one, about the core shape. The degree of symmetry in any given bowling ball is developed through the core design process. Manufacturers do it. The more symmetrical a given ball is rated, the less aggressive is the hook potential rating for that bowling ball, and it usually results in a mild or smooth hook motion and can be generally produced when you see it on the back end of the lane, a very controllable ball motion. And the more asymmetric, for example, the opposite core shape in a given ball, the higher the total differential and the greater the hook potential, and you'll see a more aggressive or a sharper angular motion toward the pocket. So those are some things to keep in mind about bowling ball symmetry. And now, when you set out to buy a new bowling ball, we recommend you pay attention to the cover stock. That's always the first consideration in a new bowling ball. It's a chief factor in developing the length potential rating in a given bowling ball by the engineers for the manufacturers, and it also helps you determine how to match to the oil condition you encounter. And number two, the length potential rating determines ball skid length and how a given bowling ball will react in the mid lane. And finally, the hook potential rating, which is also primarily based on the core design, as is length potential, by the way, will guide you in how aggressively the ball reacts on the back end of the lane. Those are the key factors. There's a lot of science that goes in beyond that, to explain to you the RG valuations and how the differences in the Y and Z axes of the bowling balls affect the amount of RG and the total differential of the bowling ball. All those factors can be very confusing if you're someone that enjoys it. We have an article, Symmetric Bowling Balls, that explains it in a little bit more detail. We have articles in Bowlversity section on our site that discuss bowling ball terms, so you can really dig into this if you want to make a science and study it. The simplest things to do is to understand the length potential and hook potential are the two key factors when you select a new bowling ball, and the core shape helps establish the degree of symmetry or the degree of how smooth the ball motion is and helps control length potential. Hook potential is the differential of RG, and that's the back end motion. And usually an asymmetric ball will give you the sharpest one. A symmetric ball will give you a control motion. I hope some of that general information helps you. Read our article or articles in Bowlversity to get more information. We want to wish you all the best on the lanes. Thank you.